Hi, hello. Welcome to your Flow and Restore. If we have never met before, I am Dom. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. If you are watching on Instagram and you'd like sort of a bigger view of what's happening here, please feel free to head over to YouTube, Dominique Cheshire Movement, and you can sort of get the full enchilada of what's happening here. For the class, the first section of the class is flow, and I will give you a heads up. I have a pretty playful flow in mind for today, so please don't take it too seriously. If there are bits and pieces that feel like complicated or not serving you and your body, the playfulness, the purpose is to feel what feels good for you. So know that that's my intention. So that's the first half of the class. The second half of the class is designed to honor and respect and serve love to our restorative systems. So today's shape that we are taking is sort of like for more reproductive organ type soothing, which will be pretty fun. So please feel free to grab as many blankets and bolsters and pillows and whatnot that you feel like you have available to you. I use all household items when we are doing our restorative, so that hopefully it helps sort of feel like it's more accessible if you don't have props at home, because really our practice can look like whatever we want it to look like, right? So feeling free to grab anything and everything that you feel like you might need to use. I like to keep a blanket handy for practice. And in the spirit of practice, can we bring ourselves up to standing? And I just feel like let's do like a good, a good shake, shake, shake. If we've practiced together before, this won't necessarily be new to you. It's something that I like to do to sort of bring ourselves into the space, to also see kind of like, how's my breath doing? How's my energy doing? Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And then let's bring the wiggle down. Inhaling to reach those arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, let those arms just melt down beside you. Let's do that again. Inhale to reach them up. Exhale, let them flow down. 2 more big breath in as they sweep up overhead. Exhaling to let those arms melt down beside you. 1 more time, inhaling it up. This time, exhale, hands down through heart center. If it feels reasonable, feel free to close your eyes. Placed on your mat, wherever you have landed, it doesn't super matter. And what I'd like you to, or invite you to do as we're here, is come into the inside of our breath. Maybe taking a big breath in and a big breath out would serve you nicely to connect into your body. As you're here, maybe looking, maybe without looking, can you feel your feet on the floor? Can you feel your big toe joint connecting down? Can we feel our second toe, not squeezing into the floor, not pushing into the floor, but just there, awareness there. Going into your middle toe, that midline down the foot. If you yawn, please feel free to free the yawn in your practice. Our 4th toe, and then our pinky toe, this whole width of our foot, all the way down the midline of the foot to the heel, this surface really grounding into the floor. And our breath circulates through our body down to these pieces, these faraway pieces from our brain. Our toes, your big toe, that's the furthest nerve to brain signal your nerves have to fire. Releasing those hands down beside you. Just taking a moment to exist here. Settling in space, we have arrived to our practice. Feel free to start to orient yourself so you're facing towards the top edge of your mat. Inhale to reach those arms up overhead. As you exhale, can you open your right arm out to the right? Left arm reaches to the left. You're in an upper body twist here. And then those arms circle down to the floor. Let's go that same direction again. Inhale to reach it up. Exhale, right arm opens, left arm reaches forward as we twist our spines. 2 more like this, please. Inhale to really lengthen up. Exhaling to open and expand and spread as those arms reach away. 1 more time. Inhale, the arms reach up. They open away from each other as we twist, maybe looking towards that back right hand. Arms sweep down, other way. Inhale, arms come up. Left arm this time is going to twist back behind us. Right arm reaches forward. Follow that hand with that gaze. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale to burst open like a rainbow. Inhaling it up, bringing some gentle rotation through that upper body. One more time, maybe a shrug of the shoulders at the top here as we open those arms away. With that in mind, can you inhale? Can you reach your arms up? And as if you were grabbing something above you, can you inhale, shrug the shoulders up to your ears? Don't cramp yourself though. And then exhale, let them just sort of down. Inhale to shrug the shoulders up. Exhaling down. 2 more. Inhale it up. Exhale to shrug. One more time. Inhale up. Super good if you get migraines to do this. Exhale down, let those hands fall down. Feeling those feet on the floor, maybe bring your hands to your hips. Let's roll up to those right toes. Feel your left foot connecting into the floor. Let's pull that right leg up towards us. We're going to lower that leg down just to tap the floor and then exhale to lift. So a little unconventional as far as classical asana practice. Pulling it up. Because I want to make sure as we move into the playfulness that we feel options and that we feel nice and warmed up. Pulling that right thigh up for 2. Lowering it down. Last one. You're going to pull that right thigh up. Now, can you not use your hands? Can you reach your arms up towards the ceiling? Can you not use your hands? Can you rotate around to the right? Reach that right leg back, left arm forward. Can you keep hugging the right thigh in towards you? Push the left foot into the floor. Growing. Ooh, nice and tall as I fall over for 3, for 2, for 1, lower everything down. Whew, give it a little shakety shake, shake. Let's go the other way. Planting down in our feet, hands to your hips, maybe roll up to the toes of your left foot. Now, noticing as we're here that we don't want to sort of like hang out in our opposing bum cheek. We want to make sure that we're standing up nice and tall. So we're working that standing quad as well. Right foot to the floor, left toes roll up. Without using your hands, can you draw the left thigh in towards you? Keeping that right leg nice and strong to the floor, you're going to lower, tap your left toes to the floor, and then zip up through that quad to pull them up. Lower and tap them down. Zipping up through the thigh, pull that left thigh up towards you. One more time. Can you lift that left thigh up and in? Now leaving that left leg there if you can. Pushing the right foot into the floor, hugging that left thigh in. Reach the arms up, and then left arm is going to find that rotation. Whoa, and maybe you fall over, and that's totally fine. Let's go for 3. Did not expect to be so wobbly here today. For 2, humbling for me as well. Last one, lower everything down. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhale, let it go. Okay, hands come to hips. Roll up to those right toes. I promise this is building to something really playful and fun. Let's pull the right leg up again. So finding those housekeeping points right out of the gate, pushing the left foot into the floor, zipping up through your right thigh, right thigh hugs in. Now without your hands, can you maybe extend the right leg out? Squeeze and pull it in. Reach that right leg out. Squeeze and pull it in. Try to keep that right hip level with the left. For 2, pull it in. You can maybe get a bit of a hamstring situation there. Last one. Now your right leg could be down, right? It doesn't have to be hip height. It could be low to do this. Maybe you reach that right leg out. Now maybe you reach the arms up. Woo! Maybe you can burst open and twist and hold it there for 2. For 1, lower it down, give it a little shake. If you're feeling hip flexors, yeah, for sure. You're holding your whole leg out in space. Other side, right foot plants to the floor, rolling up to your left toes. Watching we're not sitting in that hip, staying zipped up nice and tall. Left thigh lifts. Now again, remember, you could be wherever you need to be for this to work for your body. Once you're here, setting up through those hips, let's reach that left leg out and then squeeze it in. Maybe you kick that foot away. Maybe you point to squeeze it in. 2 more. Lengthen it out. Feeling as we lengthen out that there's a hamstring moment here where we get to sort of stretch. Now lifting the leg as high as makes sense for you. No hands if you can. So maybe that means you're down here. Lifting your arms up. We burst, we twist, that left arm reaches back. Take a moment to celebrate your success here. Bring it down, shake it off. Inhale, those arms sweep up. Exhale, bring them down. Inhale, the arms come up overhead. As we breathe out, let's melt forward over those legs, making your way closer to the top of your mat if you need. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Gentle bend in the knees. Push the floor away. Inhale to lengthen up overhead. We're doing that again, please. Exhaling to melt it forward. Keeping a bend to accommodate hamsies here. Inhale to lengthen out. Fire some glutes as we lengthen out one long line. Exhale to melt down to the floor. As you breathe in, lengthen it up. Now, if this breath pattern isn't working for you, we're going again, flying, lowering to the floor. Please feel free to breathe as you need, especially if this pace is not feeling organic to your breath. Slow it down. Push your feet through the floor. One more time. Nice and calm, melting down in space. And lengthening it out. Guiding it to the floor. Pushing your feet away as we bring ourselves all the way up. Hands melt down beside your hips. Take a pause. If at any time there's anything in this practice that is not serving you, please feel free to say thank you, but no, you don't have to take it. It's just a blueprint. Inhaling it up. Nice and calm. Exhaling over those legs. Inhale up halfway. We're going to lower down. We're going to step back, however makes sense to you, either into a tabletop or into a kneeling plank. I don't really mind. Little bits of housekeeping as we are here, please. We are pressing the hands into the floor. We are zipping up through those biceps and triceps. As much as we're pushing the floor away, finding some protraction through the shoulders here, can we also think about drawing the collarbones wide? Glutes are on, and we're trying to hug heels of our hands down to our knees and knees up towards heels of our hands. I'm hoping you're feeling lots of activity here. This is how we feel every time we're here. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, gently lower down. Try to keep those wide collarbones as our chest melts to the floor. Flipping through those toenails, pedicure side of your feet down. As we inhale, can we lengthen our chest up but keep those toes glued? Exhale, melt. Two more. Inhale, drawing our chest out and up. Maybe those hands come to hover with you, melting it down. One more time. Lengthening the chest out and up. Maybe hands come to hover, lowering them down. And then however you would like to, you can slide back into a child's pose if you would like to, back up into a tabletop, or you can find your way into a downward dog. Take a nice big breath in wherever you have landed. And exhale, side up. Now, can you feel all those nuances that you felt when you were in your kneeling plank or tabletop here too? The ribs are drawing in. The tail is lengthening back. The arm muscles are on. We're pushing the floor away. And even though we're pushing away, we're still trying to spiral those armpits to the floor. And it's quite a lot to housekeep through, but the intention here is that you end up in a really healthy shape for longevity. 3 more breaths here wherever you are. Inhaling it in. Exhaling it out. Inhale it in. Never settling in the shape as far as like settling into your muscles, but feeling maybe a coming home into the body with the breath. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. As you breathe out, taking lots of teeny tiny steps up to meet your hands. As you inhale, come up halfway. Exhaling to flow down to the floor, pushing your feet as you lengthen your spine out and up, standing nice and tall. Hands come down through your heart. Inhale, the arms sweep it up. Exhale, flowing forward over those legs, bowing only as low as makes sense to you. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Let's step the right leg back. Let's hug the legs in, lower the right knee to the floor. Inhale to sweep those arms up. As we're here, can we think about scooping the bum underneath us, hugging those legs in, squaring off through those hips as we reach. And then to add a little bit of our twist to this, left arm is going to reach up, out, and away from us as we spiral around to the left. 2 more here. Inhaling it up. Exhaling to open, feeling both arms reach away from you. One more time. Inhale it up. Exhaling to open. Inhale. Woo! The arms are going to reach up overhead. Can you lower down, plant the hands, lift the back thigh. Hug those legs in towards each other, and then sweep the arms up. See if you can find some of that nuance from when your knee was on the floor. And maybe that requires a bend of the knee to hug those legs in, to feel that front of the back hip opening, but never sitting in this shape. Front knee is definitely bent. Maybe the back knee is bent too. Trying to fire through that right glute. And then reaching those arms up, let's do those shoulder shrugs again. Hugging the legs in, squeeze shoulders up towards your ears, like you're trying to lift your rib cage off of your spine, and then bring it back down. 2 more, inhale to lift it up. Exhale it down. 1 more time, inhale, lift it up. Creating space all the way through that line. Bring it down. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, lower down, plant the hands, step back into whatever shape feels like it makes sense for you. That could be plank, that could be kneeling plank, it could be a child's. Inhale to be here. Exhale to gently lower down right away. As you inhale, flip your toes, lengthen up into a back bend of your choice. And then exhale, slide it back, downward dog. Take a big breath in here. Exhale it out through your mouth. Inhaling it in. Exhaling it out. Feeling again those nuances of support. When you're ready, inhale, swoop the right leg up. As you breathe out, can we pull the right leg in as if we were going to hold like a squeezy plank, and then we're going to put that right foot in between our hands. Now, it might not travel in that exact way. You can use your hand to guide if you would like to. We're going to keep our left back toes lifted as we sweep up into our high lunge and then open out into our warrior 2 on this side. All that twisting coming into play, yeah? Little bits of housekeeping here. We are hugging those legs in. Back pinky toe edge side of your foot as parallel to the back of the mat as we can go. Bending into that front knee. Feeling those legs hugging in. Feeling that back bum cheek active. And we're just going to hover that front heel maybe. Not your highest half toe, just a little hover. And as you do that, can you tuck the thigh back behind you? Reaching those arms out. Breathing to settle. Breathing in here. Breathing it out. Now, as we exalt our warrior, it's going to do a little bit of a different thing today. We're going to flip that front hand. We're going to take it up and back. And then instead of landing on your back thigh, this back hand is going to swoop forward. So it's doing like a little opposing opposition here. Keep bending into your knee. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, we come all the way up. Plant the heel. Rotate to the front of your mat. Fire up through the back thigh and then step forward. Woo. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Press your feet through the floor as we ripple, roll, lengthen our spines all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Take a big breath in. Exhale, side up. Okay, other side. Feeling those feet plant. Inhale, let's reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, diving forward into that delicious, lovely forward fold. Maybe a bend of the knees here. Inhale to lengthen out halfway so that we have that connection into our abs kind of right out of the gate. Melting to the floor, step your left leg back. Please lowering your left knee to the floor. Hug those legs in, sweep your arms up. Take a bit of a pause at the top. Now, can we feel those back left knees hugging forward? Those front right thighs hugging backward. Back bum cheek is on here. Maybe we reach those arms up towards the ceiling. Then this time the right arm is going to spiral it open. You can always untuck those back toes if you would like to. It's really whatever feels good for you. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhaling to twist. One more time. Inhaling it up. Right arm is going to open back behind you. Inhale to reach those arms up. Exhale, come forward, plant the hands, and then pause. Tuck the back toes if you haven't already. Lift up through that back thigh. Hug those legs in to keep it really super lovely and energized. And then lengthen yourself out and up into that high lunge. Maybe there's a bit of a bend in that knee. And the reason for that is to accommodate the hips, yeah? Because remember, we don't want to sit into our hips. We want to keep them nice and level. Back bum cheek is on. Maybe there's a bend in that back knee. And as long as you're hugging everything into center, my hope is your joints feel safe and supported. Those arms can reach up overhead. Can we inhale, bring our shoulders up towards our ears, and then exhale down. And it's not just our shoulders as we inhale. The whole rib cage is trying to slide. Your scapula, shoulder blade trying to slide and lift up. And then exhale it down. One more time. Inhale to lift it up. Exhale it down. Inhale to get really nice and strong and tall. As we breathe out, plant the hands, stepping back into whatever version of a plank feels good for you. You could be kneeling. You could be in a kneeling, oh my gosh, kneeling hands and knees, kneeling plank, full plank, but the arms are turned on. The feet are hugging down and in. The thighs are on. The glutes are on. Everything is stable here. One more breath in. As you breathe out, maybe lowering the knees, drawing your chest forward. Wide collarbones, inhale. Maybe you lift all the way up into a full supportive extension. However you feel like you need to, your way into a downward dog. Gentle bend in the knees. Please take a big breath in. Exhale, hit out. Feeling that push of the floor away, the strengthening in the arm muscles, the ribs are drawn in, lengthening through that tail, and finding this really beautiful strength that comes from the inside out, yes? So taking all of the pieces of our movement and bringing them together. When you're ready, inhale, that right leg is going to sweep up. The left leg, sorry, is going to sweep up. And then you're going to pull it in as if you could kiss that knee. And then place the left foot between the hands. Maybe it doesn't get there that way. Maybe it takes a different route. Let's hug those legs in as if we're coming up to our high lunge on the first side. And then we open it out. Finding warrior two here. Pinky toe wedge side of your back foot is as parallel as possible to the back edge of the mat. Bending into the front knee, knee stacked over your heel. Hugging those legs in, feeling that, that nice spice-orama of support here. Maybe we can take that front heel and lift it to hover. It doesn't have to go all the way. It can just be a little baby hover. Arms come out. And again, never sitting, right? Our warrior, when we hear warrior, we think strength. We think integrity, right? Oh, catch a little bit of breath there. So let's make our structure reflect those descriptions. Front palm is going to flip to face up. Let's take ourselves into our kind of like usual, what we recognize as our reversed warrior here. But maybe that backhand continues its journey around and sweeps forward here. Breathing into this shape, hugging that heel in. It could always be on the floor. It doesn't have to be lifted. One more time, breathe in. As we breathe out, let's release the shape, plant the heel, windmill the arms down, fire up into that back leg, and then step it forward. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt it down. Press your feet through the floor. Let's ripple, roll ourselves up. And then exhale down through center. We're going to roll through both sides, kind of back to just keep it moving. Please feel free to move at a pace that feels more reasonable for you if our speed isn't working or my speed isn't working. Please feel free to giggle and laugh and tip and fall and let your practice just be perfectly imperfect. Our purpose here is being with our breath in community. Hands can come down beside us. Maybe a close of the eyes, a connection back into that breath. When you're ready, inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhale, melting down to the floor. Inhale to come up halfway, lengthening out. As you breathe out, we're stepping back with the right leg, right knee lowers to the floor. Hugging those legs in as we inhale, let's sweep the arms up right away. Left arm circles back behind us. Inhale, they both reach forward and that back glute is on, please. As you circle around, your right arm reaches forward as your left arm reaches back. One more time, inhale it up. Exhale to open it up. Inhale, the arms reach up in space. As we breathe out, tip it forward just to give us the chance to adjust that back leg to a high lunge. And then we sweep the arms up. Take a breath in here. Take a breath out. Take your breath in. Maybe bending into that knee as we inhale to reach the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale them down. Inhale, reach the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale them down. One more time. Keep squeezing into that back bum cheek. Shoulders come down. Inhale to grow nice and tall as we breathe out. Plant the hands, stepping into a plank variation of your choice. Taking your breath in here. Taking a breath out to really fire up all the housekeeping. Inhale, nice and stable. Dropping to the knees as we breathe out, drawing that chest forward with support. Inhaling to lengthen yourself. Any back bend will do here that feels like it's suitable for your body. Stepping back, downward dog. Inhale to be here. Exhaling it out. Now, downward dog is our home base moment. So if your home base feels more suitable being in a child's pose or maybe in like a squatty, like a chair pose maybe. Inhale here. Exhale it out. As we inhale, that right leg reaches up. Pull the right knee in as if you want to give the knee a little kiss, and then plant the right foot in between the left hands. Get there however feels like it makes sense to you. Let's sweep ourselves up as if we were doing our high lunge on this side, and then open ourselves out into that warrior two here. Bending into that front knee, hugging those legs in, reaching the arms out. Front palm flips, maybe front heel hovers. Take the shape, reach it all the way up and back, and maybe that backhand continues its reach forward, feeling both lines here. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Taking the shape, reverse engineering it, maybe lower the heel, windmill yourself, fire up through that back leg, step forward into your forward fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to melt, releasing through the neck, pushing feet through the floor as you ripple, roll, stand nice and tall through your spine. Exhale, hands down through your heart. Let's right away, other side it. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, melting, diving, releasing forward over those legs. Inhale to come up halfway. As we melt down, step the left leg back, lower left knee to the floor. Hug the legs, the glutes, as we lengthen our spine up in space. Right arm this time opens away, left arm reaches forward as we twist in this shape. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, spiral and open. One more time. Inhale it up. Exhale to spiral. Inhale, finding center. As we breathe out, reaching forward just to give ourselves a bit of support as we straighten and find that back high half toe, bringing ourselves all the way up into our lunge. Taking a few breaths to find the nuances here. Maybe a bend in the back knee allows us to stay even through the pelvis, which means you might actually feel more going on. My knee is not just hanging out in space, my feet are hugging in, it's so active. And then as we pause here with the legs, keeping this internal energy moving, can you inhale, bring shoulders up to ears, slide all of your tissue upwards towards whatever is above you, and then exhale, let it melt back down. Two more, inhale to reach. We're trying to lift all of our tissues off of our skeletal structures. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale to lengthen, lift, 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 lift. Keep squeezing those legs together. Exhale down. Inhale to grow tall, strong, supportive. Exhale, plant the hands however you would like to get there, stepping back in a plank of your choice. Taking a breath to really turn on all your muscles, super turn them on. One more time. As you breathe out, gently lowering to the knees, keeping those collarbones wide as we lower. Inhale, up dog, or any extension that feels reasonable for you. Up and back, downward dog. Take your breath in here. Take that sigh out. Lengthening out through the spine, lengthening out through the tail, feeling all that support that you offer yourself when you're in a plank. Inhale, that left leg reaches up. As you breathe out, pull the left leg in. Can you maybe give it a little kiss? Plant the left foot between the hands, or however you would like to get there. As if we were going to pause in a high lunge, we sweep up, but then open ourselves out into our warrior two on this side. Feeling those back toes parallel the back edge of the mat. Feeling that front knee radiating forward, hugging those legs in. It just feels so good to move, doesn't it? Just so good. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it feels really sticky and you're like, oh, practice today, but you're still here. You're still doing it, and that counts. Maybe the front palm flips up. Maybe that front heel lifts to hover. Inhale to grow long as we breathe out, exalting this warrior back. And then the backhand could pause on your back thigh, or it could continue reaching around. So again, you have those opposing lines of energy here. The energy of the legs never staying static. They're hugging in and circulating out and around. Two more breaths here. Inhaling in. Exhaling it out. One more time, breathing in, breathing it out. As we inhale, maybe guiding ourselves all the way back up, maybe planting that hand as we windmill ourselves around. Now this time we're going to step back into a downward dog. Inhale, big juicy bend of both of your knees. Exhale, lift up and back. Inhale, big juicy bend of the knees. Exhale, lift it up and back. One more time, bend of the knees. Exhale, up and back. Pause. This big, gigantic triangle that we're creating through our bodies. Super easy to sort of fall into our joints here, or fall into the spaces where we have the most mobility. but maybe a lift of the heels, maybe a bend of the knees, maybe a lengthening of the tail. This shape is so different in my practice depending what else I have done that day. So know that just because this is what it looks like on my body, it can look completely different on yours. Inhale to ripple forward into your plank. As you breathe out, gently lower the knees, sit your bum back, take a child's pose. Now, if being on hands and knees like this, or being in this amount of knee flexion doesn't feel good, please don't feel like you need to. You could always flip on your back here. If it feels reasonable, walking those hands over to the right, or if you are on your backs, take your knees into a twist over to the right. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. And when you're ready, guiding yourself back to center, whatever version of this shape you've taken, walking the hands over to the left, feeling the right hip draw back. In and out here. Bringing yourself all the way back to center. Let's guide ourselves up. Let's flip around so that we are sitting up as tall as we can be up on our sit bones. So legs can be bent if you would like to, feet on the floor. We're going to do some really fun, playful abs here. She says, you can use your own adjectives if you'd like. Our legs can be out nice and long. We're going to reach our arms out nice and straight. We're going to start sitting up tall. And then as we breathe out, can you initiate from that low fleshy belly, a scoop of the bum underneath you as you roll down towards the floor as slowly, slowly, slowly as you can. I'm just going to worm myself onto my mat again. Those arms are going to reach back overhead. As you inhale, reach the arms up. Now, as you breathe out, you're going to nod your chin. You're going to reach your arms. They don't have to stay on your back. Reach them, reach them, reach them. Scoop and hollow, scoop and hollow, scoop and hollow to round forward. Inhale to roll up tall. Now, don't worry if this isn't working in your body. I have so many options for you. As we breathe out, scoop and roll. Now, as you roll to the floor, you're trying to place one vertebrae at a time down on your mat. Lengthening out and back. Now, the tricky part is on the way up. So as you nod your chin as you reach, you want to scoop just as much into that low belly as you did on the way down. Rolling up. Now, if you have a hard time, keep going if you're happy where you are. If you have a hard time rolling up, if you get stuck, grab a blanket, roll it up, create a little baby blanket sausage, and then you're going to stick it at that lumbar curve of your low backs. So hang on, let me make sure I really, so it'll be about there. And then as you scoop and roll down, you get to scoop into it. Lengthen yourself back. Then as you come up, it's going to give you something to scoop into. See, it's helpful that my spine struggles with that. Lift it up. So I get it. You could always turn and face the wall and push your feet into a wall or a chair, something solid that's not going to move. Nice spine massage here. Scoop and bring ourselves all the way up and forward. Lifting ourselves up. One more time. Scoop and roll as slowly as you can, the slowest you've ever moved in your whole entire life, all the way to the floor. If you have a blanket sausage, you're going to scoot it out of the way, please, and place it down on anything that's not underneath you. Feet planted on the floor here. Arms are maybe reaching up to the ceiling, maybe giving them a bit of a squeeze. And then nice and slowly, we're going to keep going with this little bit of a spine massage. So scooping your low backs to the floor the same way you just practiced. Press your feet into the floor as you lift your hips up, one vertebrae at a time, lengthening yourself up and forward. Take a breath in at the top. Push those feet into the floor. Hug your heels towards your bum cheeks. And then again, massage your spine all the way down. As you breathe in, enjoying a bit of a release. As you breathe out, scooping, tucking, pushing feet to the floor, lifting hips out and up. Taking a breath in at the top. And then as you breathe out, peel yourself all the way to the floor, releasing it back down. One more time. Scoop and tuck, lifting through those hips, lengthening it out. Take your breath in. And then gently roll to the floor. Nice job. Beautiful work for the spine. Guide the legs in towards you. Maybe give yourself just a little rockety rock side to side. When you're ready, maybe taking a pause at center. Can you keep just the right leg hugged and the left leg will go long along the floor? Let's maybe circle that thigh in your right hip socket. That femur bone being really nice and heavy as we massage here. And then take it the other way, circling it around. Letting the weight of your hands really guide this experience. Then at center, bring your hands behind your right thigh, bend your left knee, or your right knee, sorry. So your leg is at a 90-degree angle, and then maybe hug that right leg in. Now it might feel like you get the most bang for your buck with your hand behind your thigh. It might feel like you get more bang for your buck if you draw the right thigh in by using the right hand at the right ankle. Or it might feel reasonable to draw the thigh in by holding onto that pinky toe edge side of your foot. And you're trying to hug the right thigh down towards the outside of the right armpit. Now, by bang for your buck, I don't mean stretch. I mean being able to find strength here too. So whatever you're drawing down with, you want to push up into. And so if you go too far where maybe it's too much of a reach, but if your hands are behind your thigh, you can really find some beautiful resistance there. Please feel free to play. Left foot staying firmly to the floor. Let's go for 3 here. Let's go for 2. Let's go for 1. Releasing that right leg. And we're just going to, I'm going to scoot because I have some room. Take that right leg back into that 90 degrees. Left hand comes to the outside of the right thigh as we take a nice twist here. Trying to keep right shoulder blade to the floor. Left hand to the outside of the right knee as we twist. So starting to bring our bodies down into that more calm, settled space that we use in our restorative practice. Maybe that right arm sweeps up overhead. So that shoulder shrug business was in relation to not just your upper traps, but also your levator scap. And the levator scap is a muscle that runs from your spine of your scapula, your shoulder blade, up through your neck. And often if we get headaches or tension through the upper part of our shoulder, we blame it on our traps. Or we get my levator scap. But the reality is that muscle is designed to move. And our lives, generally speaking, we don't really allow ourselves to shrug our shoulders like that. And so if we can add it into our movement practice, then if you're experiencing a lot of crampiness there, sometimes movement is the answer for what needs to happen to relieve that tension. One more time, breathe in. As you breathe out, bring yourself all the way back to center. If you feel like you'd like a little rock from side to side here, you can. And then when you're ready, left thigh is hugging in towards you. Right leg will go long to the mat. Holding on to the right leg with those hands, just circling that left femur in and around your hip sockets. Massaging it out. Allowing the movement to ripple around your body however that truth is existing for you. And then let's take it the other way. Little circles around. And then pausing at center. Take the hands and bring them to the back of the left thigh. Hug that left thigh in. And then maybe bend that left leg up to 90 degrees. Now, as much as you're trying to hug the left thigh down, you're trying to push back up with that leg. So it's not a sitting stretch. It's not passive. It's really quite active energetically and muscularly. Now, maybe it feels reasonable that you feel the most amount of work if you hug your left ankle in by using your left hand, or maybe your left hand around your left ankle, I should say, or maybe left hand to pinky toe edge side of your foot. That gives you the most resistance. But we're looking for where you find maximum capacity to hug in and push back instead of just pulling in. We want both. Whew. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, hey, that's too much work. I don't really want to do that, which fair dues, it's your practice. But if you feel like having a bit of a play today, please feel free to play around with that. Keeping that resistance going here for 2, for 1, and then gently guiding that leg back up towards a 90 degrees. Right hand goes to the outside of the left thigh as we take our twist over to the right. Left shoulder blade finding the mat. Maybe the left arm opens out to the side, maybe up in a V behind you, maybe right up overhead by that ear. And then taking a gentle twist of the head to the left if you'd like. Maybe it feels reasonable, like I know for me on this side, because of stuff happening in my body, my neck would really love a little bit of cushion support. Like, why not get comfy right out of the gate? Why not? Twisting it out here. Now this can be passive. Two more breaths, inhaling into this twist, noticing what you feel on this side versus the other. This is my less excited side about being here. It's good information gathering. And then to keep things easy, you're already rolled with your legs to the right. Turn your torso to the right with you. So you're lying on that right side, and then bring yourself all the way up. So as we start to get ready for restorative stuff, if there's any other little bits of movement that you would like to make, please feel free to freestyle the next couple minutes or maybe the rest of your practice. If you would like to join me in restorative, I am going to start setting that up and talking you through it. So the first thing I like to do in restorative is sort of change the foundation that we're resting on. So if you have an extra blanket that you would like to lay out here, we're going to lay that out. And then you're going to decide where you would like your head to be and where you would like your legs to be. So this side where the pink towel is hanging, the pink blanket is hanging, that's going to be my head. My little plant corner over here is where my feet are going to go. So for my head, I have a few pillows. These are my favorites. Now, ideally, if you have something, maybe it's a pillow and then some blankets, something that you can sort of move around a little bit that has a little bit of give to it so that we can really mold a beautiful shape around our heads to give us a little bit of extra neck support. And then I have a nice square pillow here. And I have a few more blankets. So what I would like us to do, and this is maybe going to be like a little bit of a negotiation, and that's okay. But essentially what I would like us to do is create like a bit of a crisscross tower. So if you had a bolster at home, you would be able to do like a block down the middle and then a bolster over top. But if you don't have those props, we're going to see if we can make like a little mound. So I've just sort of made a blanket into another little blanket sausage, and I'm putting it down my mat vertically. And then I'm taking my pillow and putting it across so that it molds a little more like that. And you know what? I think I've just decided that I don't love this. So I'm going to change it for a longer pillow. There we go. And so essentially what we're doing is we have this nice long vertical shape at the bottom. And then we have a longer shape that goes horizontal over the top so that it melts. It creates a little bit of a bridge. And then we'll be taking our legs, and if we think about like the backs of our knees, like a little crisscross, and we sort of plant a crisscross right at the peak, right at the apex of this shape, that's where our legs are going to go. So they're going right at that little apex, and then we're going to let them melt outwards. Does that make sense? I'll turn to you and show you too. So we have our little blanket rolled. We have our shape on top. It creates like a little house, a little dome. And then the legs are going to go on top, and they're going to open out like a bit of a butterfly around the dome. Yes, hoping we're like a mushroom cap. If you don't love mushrooms, you don't have to use that one. Don't worry. It's recently been brought to my attention. Not everybody loves mushrooms the way that I do. Mushrooms on everything. I love them. Okay. Mushrooms, the food, to be clear. So let's do a little check-in. We're letting those thighs open out. We want to make sure we're the right distance before we get too comfy. Ooh. Whatever is supporting your head here, we want to make sure that you have underneath your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders as well. And just sort of thinking about if you can imagine the peaks and valleys of your spine and of your torso, we want to make sure that all of the peaks that would usually have a little hole underneath them, that they're supported. So I'm feeling good about my head. I'm feeling like I would like a little more lift through the legs and feet. So we're just going to keep building. Maybe I bring this back. See how this goes. Setting up my little sausage on top, giving it a little more height. Blanket over that or pillow over that. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. And then we come down here. Now, if you have extra blankets and pillows lying around for your feet, we don't want to leave anything hanging. So you can always add more layers, right? We want to make sure everything gets the opportunity to be supported. So we have our little mount that's going to go underneath our knees so that our thighs can open. The idea here is that they get to turn out, they get to sort of flop as opposed to be held parallel. Something to support through my ankles, shins, and feet so they're not left hanging. Oh, yes. We're getting it now. Your arms are welcome to also have something lifted up underneath them for support. If they're happy lying down on the floor, they can rest there. They can rest on your belly. And then if you have an extra blanket left over, which I recommend, I'm going to throw it on top. And in the spirit of honesty with us finding things around our home, this is my sister's poncho. And I'm sure whenever she watches this video, I will get a message about it. Finding space to come into your body. To close your eyes. To feel support. And to soften. Taking those inhales through the nose. And exhaling to breathe it out. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhaling to sigh it out. As you start to allow the settling of this practice to nuance its way through your shape, notice if there's anything that could do with a little more softening. Maybe more support through the hips, through the ankles, maybe through the back of the head. And if you're feeling like your head needs more, you can always start to mold your pillow around the shape of your head. Ideally, we're trying to allow ourselves to have a support where our chin is lower than our forehead. So it's sort of propped up. Now, if your comfort zone is practicing in silence, that's what we'll be practicing together. If your comfort zone is practicing with sound, I will be playing a little bit of chimes. And if your comfort zone is sound through the entirety of the experience, please feel free to pop on whatever you need to pop on. In and out. Letting the body rest. Noticing if there's opportunity to soften through the front of the hips, the jaw, the shoulders, the weight of the feet, the eyebrows, the eyelids, your cheeks, the gaze of your eyes underneath your eyelids, the strain of listening. And if there's anything else that can be done to make you the most deluxe version of comfortable you could be, please feel free to do so, to do what you need to do to adjust that. If you're happy as you are, please feel free to stay like that. I am bringing myself up only to be able to grab the chimes to play a little bit of chime music for you. Staying exactly as you are, taking a moment to feel how you're feeling, to observe what's happening in the body, or maybe just to exist with support, with space. Taking those breaths in and out of your body, maybe to guide you into a space of more consciousness, or maybe to continue your practice as it is. If you would like to close together, I invite you to start adding little bits of movement throughout your body, maybe a wiggle of toes, maybe a yawn, maybe a reach of the arms. And when you're ready in your own time, knowing that your structure is made of pillows and blankets, finding your way over onto one side. From this one side, bringing yourself up to seated and letting seated be whatever that means to you and your body in practice. And if it feels right, letting your eyes be closed. Hands can land anywhere on the body. Maybe gently bowing inwards. And we still keep this resonance of softness throughout the body, throughout the face, throughout the neck and shoulders. Can we keep this resonance of space and compassion for ourselves for the rest of our day? And maybe that's ambitious. Maybe this check-in of self-compassion will happen once an hour. And if we can take all of this beautiful juju that we gift ourselves and bring it into our day-to-day, facing, enjoying, and soaking up our day from a space of compassion, can maybe allow us to move forward in a really positive way. To invite hard conversations in a really positive way. To receive hard conversations in a positive way. May there be peace and joy and patience and compassion in our hearts. May there be peace and joy and compassion and patience in our speech. And may there be peace and joy and compassion in our thoughts. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being here for you. I hope we meet again. Have a fabulous rest of whatever it is you're doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much on Instagram.